Burma, more recently known as Myanmar, is located in Southeast Asia and is the largest country in that area. It is bordered by Bangladesh, India, China, Laos, Thailand, the Andaman Sea, and the Bay of Bengal.
Myanmar was colonized by Britain in 1886 and achieved independence on January 4, 1948.
The country is 89% Buddhist with an Islam minority and is made up of about 135 different ethnic groups.
The environmental situation in Myanmar is not good as they are losing many of their forests and the pollution level in the country is very high.
The overall HDI score is 0.556, ranking 145 out of 188 countries.
The biggest aid program helping is from Australia, providing millions of dollars to help improve the infrastructure and education for the citizens of Myanmar. Australia has 3 objectives that they want to complete in Myanmar: enhancing human development, promoting peace and stability, and promoting inclusive economic growth and government management.
The biggest issue facing Myanmar is the genocide that seems to be going on in the western Rakhine state, as the security forces of Myanmar's government are ruthlessly killing the Rohingya Muslims and driving them out of their country.
Despite Myanmar recognizing 135 different ethnic groups, the Rohingya are not one of them and have been facing severe discrimination for years.
So in order to increase the level of development in Myanmar, it is first necessary to end the genocide before addressing the infrastructure and economy. There have been many reports from Rohingya refugees of murder and sexual assault by the security officials who should have been protecting them.
Many Rohingya are streaming into Bangladesh to try and escape.
Stopping this genocide seems like a big task, but there is a way to do it.
Genocide is defined as the deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation.
That definition describes exactly what is happening right now in Myanmar.
The first step is for the UN to put pressure on the countries that sell weapons to Myanmar. We need to cut them off from their source of arms so they can't use them against the Rohingya.
Secondly, China is Myanmar's biggest and strongest ally. So if the Organization for Islamic Cooperation can possibly coerce China, they can use their influence over Myanmar to stop them from killing their own people.
The UN can also put pressure on the country by withholding funds and using their influence to keep peace. If Myanmar continues with these ruthless acts of murder, then other countries might have to intervene and force them to stop.
This genocide was supposedly caused by Rohingya Muslims killing 12 security officers. The government now claims that they are carrying out counterattacks against acts of terrorism, but in reality it has spiraled into something a lot larger and a lot more cruel.
The real cause of this seems to be the destabilization of their government after their recent switch to democracy.
After this genocide is stopped, steps need to be taken towards improving the overall quality of infrastructure in the country of Myanmar.
The infrastructure in Myanmar is one of the worst in the world and is a major issue that needs to be addressed.
In order for Myanmar to develop, it needs to have a strong foundation, and right now it does not.
The average citizen of Myanmar does not have proper access to electricity, communication, and transportation.
So in order to improve the overall quality of life of the people of Myanmar, the infrastructure has to improve greatly.
The first step that must be done is getting a loan from the World Bank so they have money to rebuild and buy supplies needed for living and staying safe.
Unfortunately, the World Bank cannot supply enough money to completely support the project, so Myanmar must get a loan from another country as well.
Japan and India are both important countries that are now loaning money to Myanmar in order to counter China's influence on the country's economy.
Currently, Myanmar's infrastructure is improving, but they might need to ask for more money from their strong allies in order to boost the speed of its improvement.
Not only does Myanmar's infrastructure need improving, the access to education is in great need of help too. When Myanmar achieved independence in 1948, their schools were regarded as the best in Asia, but that changed.
During the past 50 years, Myanmar's military government shut them off from the world. Recently, with their new democratic government, the citizens of Myanmar are learning all the stuff that has happened in those years.
For example, most of them did not know that a man walked on the moon. Aung San Suu Kyi, an important political figure in Myanmar, said, "The education system at the school level is so terrible because the teachers are so badly paid. There is no proper equipment in the schools. There are put up a showroom of computers while there are children who could not even afford textbooks, and there are adequate textbooks for all the schools in Burma."
There is a shortage of teachers and also overcrowded classrooms. In order to solve that problem, the government should donate more of their money to increase teachers' pay.
Teachers are paid very little in Myanmar, and that discourages a lot of people from being teachers. If the salary was even a little bit higher, more people would take the path towards education, therefore solving the teacher shortage issue.
Also, by increasing the amount of teachers, the students can spread out to different classes, therefore decreasing class sizes.
With these major issues addressed, the country of Myanmar should be well on its way to development.